I'm Chris Berman. Got a lot of games to cover. Let's get at it. In our first game this week, we had the Lions end up on the right side of an 11-point game. In an AFC South matchup, we had the Jaguars win their 4th game of the year. The Bengals won this contest, but will stay at the 3rd place in the AFC North. Hampton had a stellar game, but all said and done, his performance wasn't enough to lift his team to a victory. Dane Looker hauled in over 150 yards receiving and helped his Rams beat the Cardinals. On the east side of the bay in Oakland, we had the Raiders walk away with a 6-point victory. Steelers, Dolphins. Quentin Jammer is set to catch it and move forward quickly. As you know, it's not going to be a long punt, punting out of their own end zone. He grabs it, gets a block, and just what their opponents feared, a quick 6 against them. 32 yards. The Steelers go on to win this by the final score of 24-21. Over in Ralston, Maryland, we had the Redskins drop this one by 17. The Falcons' defense held their opponents to under 100 rushing yards in their win at Tampa. We had a big injury in this one, and Trey has the lowdown for us. Trey?
All right, Boomer, thanks. In front of you, we've got the AFC Infirmary Report. And as you can see, they were hit hard this week. Rashawn Mathis sticks out on this list as one of the more costly injuries. It's a broken arm, and the doctors are saying he'll be out for the rest of the season. In front of you, we've got the NFC list. And as you can see, they could form their own MASH unit. Alex Brown is probably the one that most leaps out at you. The team doctors have reported a pulled hamstring, and he'll be out for the rest of the regular season. There's a chance, however, they'll get him back for the playoffs. On to the serious news of the week. Ryan Neese had to be placed on injured reserve, so he'll be on the sidelines for the rest of the year. Just a key blow to the heart of this defense. So that'll do it for now. Chris, let's send it back to you.
The Jets won at home, but will take to the road next week to meet the Bengals. In a long-standing NFC rivalry, we had the Seahawks pick up their 11th win of the year. Giants, Cowboys. Eli Manning. Bark signals at the 24-yard line. Do they go to the end zone here? Takes a little extra time at the snap. Good pocket, slings it. And a perfect timing pattern for a touchdown. The Giants win this one by the final score of 28-17. The Vikings won this contest, but will stay at the first place in the NFC North. John Casey had a stellar game, but all said and done, his performance wasn't enough to lift his team to a victory. Jake the Snake Plummer threw for 250-plus yards and helped his Broncos beat the Eagles. And in our final game, we had the Chiefs come away victorious.
All right, Boomer, thanks. Just 2 weeks to go until the playoffs arrive, and just as we do every year, we're looking at a number of interesting races as teams jockey for position. We'll start it out in the AFC. Meanwhile, over in the NFC, the playoff picture looks like this. So that's how we stand to this point. Still lots of jockeying left to go as we get this thing sorted out for January. So that'll do it from here. Boomer, we send it back over to you.
So with just 2 weeks to go now, still plenty to be decided before January rolls around. But first, my primetime players' game balls go out to these men, each helping their team down the stretch. That'll do it, sports fans. I'm Chris Berman, and thanks so much for joining us here in the Bristol studios. We'll see you next week right here on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.